Good afternoon and welcome back to Adventures for Anyone, and it's fall. I love fall, and I'm going to take you to a couple of my favorite places. Now, I'm not from New England. New England is famous for this fall foliage, and it's one of the reasons I love living here. I come from a very flat place called northern Indiana, which is probably full of corn stubble right now. And I thoroughly enjoy fall in New England for all of the decades that I have lived here. Now, on this particular day, I was making my way through Mount Washington State Forest down some of the windiest roads you've ever seen in your life, through this beautiful foliage, and on my way to Bish Falls and Bish Falls State Park and Taconic State Park. Now, this is found up here in Copake Falls. It's in the middle of nowhere, down these windy roads, and these two parks share the border of Massachusetts and New York. Now, the day that I went, it was absolutely beautiful. That's why this video might run a little long for you. Sorry if it does. But I took the long path, which is also the easy path. It's flatter, easier to walk. It is 3/4 of a mile each way, a 1.5 mile round trip. There is a shorter path on the other side of the falls, which is more up and down. It's a moderate trail. It's 0.3 miles each way, making it a 0.6 round mile trip. So there's more than one way to get to the falls. So on this particular day, I'm walking along. There's Bish Brook down there, which is where you find Bish Falls. It's not rocket science, but it can be tricky if you really don't understand the workings of Mother Nature. Trail hiking is a great art. Fortunately, here in these state parks, you really don't need that art. There's a ton of signs as you go along. Stay on the trail, don't swim, don't wade, don't step off the trail. They have benches along the way for you to sit down on, and eventually you come up here about a little over midway and you cross the border from New York, where I started, into Massachusetts, where the Waterfalls is, and where you actually enter what's known as Bish Falls State Park. Before that, you're actually in Taconic State Park, which we will go back and see later after we've seen the beautiful waterfalls. Now, there's notices everywhere. Don't swim, don't dive, don't jump off the waterfall, don't wade, don't go in the water, don't. And no matter how many ways you come down here, you cannot miss the signs that warn you of this. And here is the beautiful waterfall. It's 60 feet high. There was barely any water going over it the day I was there, but it's fall and it's stunning and it sounds great. Doesn't it sound great? If only you could go down and see it. When the park is not manned, the gates are closed, the fence is long, it's treacherous to even think about climbing over it, and all you can do is stand at the top and just admire the beautiful waterfall and listen. These state parks are old. They've been here a long time. Unfortunately, a lot of people have gotten hurt. Some have died jumping off that waterfall. They were formed back in 1924. They're still pretty rustic. When I started coming up there 30 years plus ago, there wasn't any of this. Nobody manned it. The trails were rugged. There were no porta-johns there and none of that. But it is a beautiful place to spend some time. You have the babbling brook. You have the beautiful waterfall. You have in the fall this amazing foliage that we've had this year. Can't stress it enough. It's beautiful. You see the birds flying above by the trees. You just see this bright blue sky. I just love it. And I love being out in nature so much. Go out, get some fresh air, and take a walk. And here you come back to this parking lot. We're now back in New York State. We're now in Taconic State Park. And this is where the bottom parking lot is. Here you can see the map. There's a lot going on here, from Mount Washington State Forest and Mount Everett, Bish, and everything that goes with Taconic State Park. And after I left, I went down to visit the Wassaic Ironworks. This was a business a long time ago, back in 1845. By the early 1900s, it was shut down, and today you have the museum there, you have the old furnace over there from the ironworks, and you have this nice spot here. I couldn't resist, folks. It's beautiful, beautiful foliage. But in this part of the park, you've also got a campground there up the road, and you have something coming in here. This is the Harlem Valley, and this used to be the Harlem Railroad line. It comes up to Wassaic now, which is several miles south of there, and it's now abandoned. But it used to be working railroad coming to the ironworks. And then I went over to Taconic State Park. Taconic State Park has a lot of hiking trails, once again a campground, huge picnic areas. But this is what everybody comes to Taconic State Park for, which is this beautiful pond. It is a swimming spot all summer long. It's absolutely stunning on a fall day, won't lie, I enjoyed it. And you have the benches here, you have the green where you can put, all of your beach style stuff. And in the summer there are lifeguards, you can swim. In the fall, when it's not super hot anymore, everybody clears out and it's over, which is when I visited, but it's still beautiful, isn't it? It's absolutely great. I absolutely love it up there. Now there are a lot of rules. You have to follow all the rules. You don't drink, you don't get rowdy, you do what the lifeguards and the attendants say, and that's just it. And here you see the little building down there, which we're seeing again here, that you enter Taconic State Park through. And the last thing I'm going to show you here is the rail trail. And that pretty much sums up, we're headed on to the next thing, and that is Bish Falls State Park and Taconic State Park.
Hi, I'm Terry. Thank you for joining me today on Adventures for Anyone, and join me again in the future, and like and subscribe if you like what you see here. And I can teach you where to go in the Northeast, how to have fun, and how to travel the way I do, which is as a budget traveler. Thank you again. Have a great day.